All right, so I'm here today to tell you about the scariest team in college basketball heading into March Madness, the NCAA tournaments. That is the Florida Gators. Without a doubt, this team is terrifying. They're 9-1 in the last 10 games. In fact, Florida has won 12 of their last 13 games. They're hot at the right time, and that's what matters in March. Who's playing their best basketball at the right time, and how are they going to capitalize off of that momentum to secure a huge March Madness run? Florida looks like that team that's going to roll that momentum over into the tournament. There's not a doubt in my mind. And I mentioned those numbers there, 9-1 in the last 10, 12 of the last 13. But I want to dig beneath the surface of those numbers as well. 7 of Florida's 12 previous wins have been teams that have been ranked nationally, and 4 of those teams have been ranked in the top 10. So this is significant competition that Florida is beating head to head. They aren't just beating these cupcake teams. Like they're playing titans. They're playing juggernauts. They've beaten Auburn. They've beaten Alabama. They've beaten Texas A&M, Missouri, Tennessee. They're beating titans head to head. This is a badass Florida team. And it's also the margins that they've beaten these teams by. It's absolutely alarming. They beat Alabama by 22 in the SEC tournament. They beat Missouri by 14, Texas A&M by 19. It's absolute dominance of the Gators. And that's another quality that you look for in a team who's going to make a far run in March. Is yes, you're beating quality competition. Yes, you're hot at the right time. You know, your past 10 games look really good right now. Preferably 7, 8 plus wins. But how are you beating these teams? Because you look at these UConn teams these past several years, they beat the brakes off of their opponents. Florida reminds me a lot of UConn last year with how they're playing going into the tournament. They're not just beating teams, they're beating them by 10, 15, 20 definitive wins, imposing their will. That's been Florida. That's why they're terrifying right now. And it's also Florida's depth that's off the charts right now. You have guys like Walter Clayton Jr., the Florida boy himself. He's shooting out of his mind right now, which is crucial going into the tournament. Elijah Martin, Will Richard. I mean, there's dogs on Florida. And Florida's bench is incredibly sufficient as well. So that gives Florida the ability to not only be dominant with their starting 5, but they can rotate guys in and out as well, so that they're getting productivity of other guys and remaining competitive with their opponents, while also giving their starters rest so they can come back out and perform at the most crucial points of the game. That's what makes a team like Florida so lethal right now, and what really raises an eyebrow for me when I look at them going into the tournament. Like when you've got that kind of depth, that's what's going to enable you to endure in the Sweet 16, in the Elite 8, in the Final Four. When these games are physical and it's a battle of attrition, you know, how can you rotate? How can you stay fresh? Florida has the depth to do that. And it's so crucial right now. Also, not to mention, huge statistic right here, Florida has scored 85.4 points per game, which is incredible. It's 3rd in the nation, so this team can likely outscore you as well. So you've got an incredibly talented team, an incredibly well-coached team. Shout out to Todd Golden and the job he's done on this team. It's been truly fantastic. You mix in that, such a complete team as Florida is. You pair that, the talent, the coaching, with bulletin board material that motivates this team to climb to the mountaintop and elevate every week. That's what a championship team is made of. This Florida team reminds me a lot of Ohio State heading into the college football playoff, because they've been disrespected all year long. And Ohio State wasn't necessarily disrespected, but they had bulletin board material after losing to Michigan. And That was the igniter. That was the switch that flicked, that brought that collective inner dog out of Ohio State that ultimately propelled them to a national championship. I can see the same thing happening for Florida here, because Florida has been disrespected week in and week out. Every week I'd go check the AP poll, and I'd see a team that Florida beat head-to-head pretty convincingly continue to be ranked above them. Disrespect week in and week out. And then I flick on my TV on Selection Sunday and see that they're the 4th overall 1 seed. They're 4th ranking of the number 1 seeds. So Houston, Duke, and Auburn were all valued over Florida. And mind you, Florida went in to Neville Arena and beat Auburn pretty convincingly head-to-head. But yet, Auburn's valued more than them. Say what you want. It could be petty. But if I'm Todd Golden, if I'm a Florida Gator, that's going to piss me right off. And I'm going to be ready to prove how damn good we are, how electric we are, how together we are as a team on the court each and every single round. But I'm going to be ready to prove that we're better than you. And you know it, and we know it. If I'm Florida. You have a team that good. And you're motivating them, and you're giving them bulletin board material. Oh, that's scary. That's scary. That's championship material. And I can't wait to pop my popcorn and watch these Gators chomp in the NCAA tournament, because they are going to be an electrifying team to watch. Can't wait to watch Florida. Can't wait to watch the rest of these teams in March Madness. It's going to be such a fun tournament, and I can't wait for it. Have a great day.